Hello friends, welcome to Salesforce CRMatics video session 284. So basically in today's video, we will actually try to understand the reset groups in the sliding window, or rather the windowing functionality in SAQL. Before that, I will also tell you, like, we covered the windowing functionality, the sliding window part in SAQL, but that statement was a bit long. How we can actually shorten that statement as well, that SAQL statement. And of course, after that, we will continue with the reset group. So definitely have this particular developer guide in handy with you. I am in page number 132, and I've already written that part as well in my notepad about the definition. Let me do one thing. Let me quickly open my notepad to that particular page, because by default I haven't opened it to that page. And yeah, let me just share my screen once again. Okay, so yeah, I hope you can see my screen now. So this is the thing. Firstly, like in the Analytics Studio, let me open that part, sliding window SAQL. Let me directly move to the SAQL code. And what I will be doing is here, what I can write is, like, if you see here, we are first grouping by, right? We are first grouping by, then, we are generating the particular field name. And then again, we are grouping by that field name. And, then we are saying first of A as A. So firstly, one thing I wanted to tell you here, instead of first of A, you can also write sum of A. Okay. So that also won't be an issue. It will give you the same result. Or maybe what I can do is I can just duplicate this one and do it in the next one, so that we can compare the result as well. Fine. So the same thing, let me just duplicate over here, and yeah. So what I'm going to write is, like, instead of first, let me just write sum of A. So that will give you the same result. Okay. First of A is not needed because at the end of the day it's a measure, and that is something we already learned, right? So if you see, it doesn't create any impact. Now, instead of writing so many lines of SAQL statement, the shortcut way is also, like, completely this thing. I can just copy it and paste it over here. Okay, and I can just delete all the next two lines. Fine. But here you have to be careful, since we are generating the count of A as A, it will not be able to take the sum of A directly over here. So what you have to write is, instead of writing sum of A, because that A won't be taken into consideration, it will throw an error in that case. So for example, right now, if I run the query, it's going to throw one result where it shows that, it's not able to identify that A, because we are only grouping by stage A. We are not grouping by this particular variable A. So immediately in the generate statement, you can't write sum of A. Okay, that's not the way it will work out. So in this case, what I'm going to write is, I'm going to directly write that count of Q. So I will just write count of Q, and that's it. My complete code is done. So if you see here, the result still remains the same. So this is a shortcut technique. So maybe I can just save it, and I can just write the second method maybe. Fine, I can just copy this whole thing, but I will just write over here. No, unfortunately, I just duplicated it, but it's fine. I already have the code ready. So I will just copy this whole code, and I will just open the opportunity dashboard dataset, and we'll paste it over here. Okay. So I'll click on save. We'll save it in my SAQL app, and I will just write over here second method. Fine. That's it. Okay, great. This part is done. Now let's move to that reset group which we're talking about. So in my notepad also, like, I have written that reset group. What does it mean? So at the end of the reset group means the column that reset windowing aggregation when their value changes. A reset group of all indicates no reset boundaries for the window function. So for example, in this case, like the sliding window which we did, right? If you see here, it's just doing the counting. Like, I have done -1, to 0, right? Which means it's taken the previous row and the current row. So in this case, for example, it's 120. We don't have previous row. Then here it's taking the previous row and current row. In that way, it continued, but it continued till the end, till the very end. If you see, it just continued in that manner. So for last also, it's like 36 plus 47 is giving you 83. That's the way it continued. There was no breakthrough anywhere. With reset group, you will have a breakthrough depending upon what is that field which you have chosen. So firstly, always remember, like if I open this data set, to have that reset group, you need two columns. So under bars, what I will do is I will take the opportunity type and then I will take the stage name. For now, I'm not interested in the order by. So let me just clear the sorting. Okay, for both the fields. And here I will just go for edit this column and I will click on plus. And here maybe I can just write sliding window, something like that. Okay. Sliding window column. And here I will again go for sliding window. Maybe I can go for sum. That's fine. -1, 0. And reset group, what I will do is I will take the opportunity type and let me click on apply. Cool. So once I click on apply, let me just close this one. And now let me move to directly to SAQL. Let me also shorten this window a bit. Okay. So now if you see, this is the complete SAQL code. We are loading that data set. We are grouping by two particular column name. We are generating each column name as it is. Then we are again grouping by those two column name. And finally, we are typing the type stage name. First of a, I can write here sum of a, that is fine. And sum of a over. Okay. So here's the key, sum of a over -1 to 0 partition by, you are giving the type order by. So this is the like syntax you always have to remember. It has to be sum, then like you can write count of q or sum of a, that's fine, over, and in bracket you write that condition -1 to 0 partition by, you write the field name order by, you can write that particular field name. For example, here even if you don't mention the type, it will still not throw an error. So if I run the query, it will still give you the same result. Okay, so that's not an issue. Yeah. And now if you see here, so firstly let's understand like what the particular code did. So that is something to check out. If you see here, what the reset group does is, like if you're resetting by opportunity type, so for existing business, whatever stage you have up till there, that calculation is done as per whatever we provided related to a sliding window. So it's like it's going to take the current and the previous one, the summation of that. If you see, for the value proposition is doing 7.4 and it's giving you 11. However, if you come to the existing customer downgrade, if you see that closed one is just showing the current one, it's not taking the previous one. The reason being, we are resetting by opportunity. That means for each of the opportunity, whatever stage is there, you perform the calculation as it is, but when you encounter the next type, you again start from the beginning calculation. Okay, so in this case, customer downgrade this one, it won't have a previous one, this is the current one right now. Similarly, for new business also, if you see it's closed lost 56 is not taking the previous value 1, because for each it got reset actually. Fine. Same thing we covered a lot in recipe as well, related to windowing function in recipe. You can watch those videos and then you can come back over here. Fine. But as of now, if you look into the SQL code, so we know how to write this whole code. We practice a lot, but it's just that in this case, we have to write sum of a over -1 to 0 partition by the field name order by that field name as B. Okay, so let's try this out. Fine. So what I will do is I will open a new this thing, and maybe what I will do is, let me just copy this one at least. Okay, and I can remove everything else. Okay, nothing else is required, and I can hide the above one. Okay, so now let me write that code. Okay, fine. Let me just copy this line. Okay, now let me write the code. So q equal to group q by, so we have something called as the type and uh, stage name. Fine. Then q equal to, for each q, generate q dot type as type. Okay, q dot stage name as stage name, and count of q as a. And finally I'm going to write, so sum of, what I will write is count of q. So I will directly go for that shortcut technique, count of q. Okay, so sum of count of q over, and then we have this particular thing get started. Oh, sorry, first this round bracket and then the square bracket. Okay, so I will mention the range. It is still 0 to -1. I'm keeping that as constant as of now. Fine. Then I will write partition by, type. Okay, and order by, I think I can just write stage name because it won't impact the result, and that's it. So then if of course equal q equal to limit q, which is not needed, but that's fine. So I'm loading the data set. I'm grouping by the type and stage name. I'm generating the type, stage name. I'm generating the count of q as well, and sum of count of q over this by partition order by, as maybe I can write something like I don't know, sliding window column. Okay, or maybe I can just write b as of now. That is also fine. So yeah, just to ensure the brackets are, yeah, brackets are done correctly. So now just let me copy this and paste this, and let's see if any kind of error I have encountered or not. Okay, we are going to check that. So let me run the query. Okay, great. So I see one error here. It's saying uh, 0 to -1. Okay, I think it has to be -1 to 0. Yeah, that's something I've written wrong. It has to be -1 to 0. Yeah, that's it. Okay, great. I think I already got the result. So let me just go to the compare table. If you see here, yeah, 20, 90, and here is 1, 1. Okay, 56 plus 195, it's almost 251, plus 70, 212, 26. Yeah, it's working perfectly fine. And definitely it's done for me. So this is the place where I have done the reset group, right? So we have this function called reset group. So maybe I can just save it, sliding window SAQL with reset group, something like that. And I will save it in my SAQL app. So yeah, the only mistake which I see I had done in my notepad is I have to be very careful on how I write the range over here. Okay, and that is something which is written over here as well, the row range. So that is known as the row range. So maybe in our next video we can actually go through about the row range part, as well as we can also go through some of the important notes to keep in mind related to the windowing function in SAQL, how it works out, like what are the conditions we have to keep in mind. We can quickly walk through this and check this as well. And after that, of course, we can continue with other kind of code which has been done over here, other kind of implementation which has been done, right? So that's it about this video, and let's meet very soon in our next one. Thank you.